Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome, viewers of the Football Trio. It's yet another week of football. We're happy to have you guys here. Hope you guys are having a wonderful day. But before we start, let's go ahead and introduce our presenters. Let's start with Ajab. Ajab and I'll just give you guys a little story and how important is it to keep good relationships on social media and beyond. So Ajap and I think we've been discussing football now for about a decade. That's the first time I met him. Then I met him in NVT tournament about 3, 4 years in person. But this relationship has gone far and beyond. And today I'm very happy to host a show here with Ajab. So Ajab, please introduce yourself. My pleasure, bro.
Yeah, like Tru3lion said, we've been discussing soccer and content, trying to get ourselves used to each other in the football domain for a little while now. A little bit over a decade. Yeah, I think we met on one of those football forums on Facebook back in the days, and since then we've been keeping our communication. And it's been a pleasure talking football with Tru3lion. And so when we had this idea of the football tree, I said, no, we shouldn't let this go. Let's keep it because it's only going to reconnect us and then make us able to throw out that content, the football content, the hobby that we have. We should not let it go. So that's how far I've been with Tru3lion in terms of football and other stuff.
Okay, thank you very much. Let's move over to Nico. Nico is quite interesting, right? Because I've been seeing Nico, quite interesting guy, very energetic guy. We've been trying to do this for a long time, but it didn't happen as we wanted. However, we have reconnected. And we live in Charlotte. We live in the same city, but you know how life is in America and stuff like that. So, but Nico, I'll give you just your time, your moment to introduce yourself. Thanks, bro.
Uh, Amazing. Thank you so much for having me on. It's been a long time coming, the football trio, and finally we got to get past the point of just planning and talking about it, and we actually started doing it. And I think you had a huge hand in that. And where we are today, it's a big testament to our commitment to not only talk about football, but also see that we are honing our talents and skills in various ways. And of course, you bringing that analytic head and analytics to all the football that we watch and just talk about it turns banter into something more productive, right? And that's why we are on the football trio on a podcast like this one, so we can talk about these things in a more organized manner, so that it actually leads us towards a narrative that's important in what we're trying to do here. So thank you so much for this initiative again. It's a team effort, and I really appreciate you. Looking forward to having a fun day again today. Let's go.
And yeah, and thank you guys, and not forgetting our fans. Please subscribe, comment, like, and share. That's the only way we can grow. We are looking to grow content in our community. We are looking to build a platform that we can all interact because back home it was quite normal, right? We'll meet on our playing our fields, we'll play football, we'll talk about football, but due to constraint and family right now, we have to meet on some type of platform in order to discuss football. And this weekend, today we had the Manchester City Derby. Very, very interesting. We're going to talk about EPL this week, but in future editions, we hope to expand, and talk about much more different subjects. However, let's start with the EPL, the Manchester Derby. What's your take on that, Adia? Just give us a brief, let's say, 30 minutes intro, then we shall go into details after.
Um, the one thing I have to say, it's a derby, so I was expecting it to be a fun-filled game with lots of pressure and all that. But one thing I want to say before we go into the details is that if truly football is a game of entertainment, besides being sentimental attached to a team, if football is a team of entertainment, then I don't see why there should be someone who won't love watching Pep Guardiola coach football.
Thank you for that.
Yeah.
Now, Nico, I know you're a staunch Arsenal fan, right? I know in order to be a fan and do analysis, it's not quite easy, right?
That's
But
right.
In life, you have to wear many different hats. What does this game mean to your team? I know Arsenal plays tomorrow, right? Liverpool and Manchester City have won. So, what type of pressure does this put on Arsenal?
I think, of course, it would have been a better result this weekend if Man City had lost. But you know how these things go, right? Man U um, tried to kind of help Arsenal out in a way. Nottingham Forest actually did a very huge favor to us. Yesterday when they held their own to Liverpool until the very, very last minute, which makes you think, at some point Liverpool is going to definitely give up. And those they would use up their, or let me say, they will expend their luck. But that's a conversation we'll have as we expand. But just to tell you, the implications are huge. Arsenal now knows that if they make a mistake on Monday, which is tomorrow, if they make a mistake, it's going to cost them dearly. So no room for errors. They have to go out there, put their best foot forward, and take the game to what are we even playing? The bottom team. What is it? Southampton,
Sheffield,
Sheffield United.
Sheffield. Yeah.
Sheffield
Sheffield
United,
United.
okay.
Keep forgetting. Yeah. That's. I mean, they're already dead last in the league, anyways. But I think because they're playing at home, we know how some of these Monday night games can go. The whole thing is the team has to come out ready to play, and we have to take the game to them.
Okay.
Beat them up, slap them up, make sure that we do our job, and just leave the rest to the next weekend and see how it goes.
Okay.
But this is huge. This is a huge, huge, huge result. We were really hoping that Man U would come through for us, but it is what it is, and we just have to go again next week. So
Okay. Okay. Thank you for that. Ajab, I actually believe that Manchester United are more of a counter-attacking team. So the game actually started the way they wanted, right? They defended really good. They defended deep. They had that goal out of nothing. Okay. But then it was like a game of two halves, where in the second half, you saw Manchester United, especially when City equalized with that brilliant goal. They had no plan B. I mean, we have seen this over and over from Ten Hag. Do you believe that Ten Hag can be competitive in this league with Manchester United?
I think so. The reason he may not be the level United. I know when I talk to a few United fans and the way I look at football, United fans keep saying this is Manchester United, but they don't want to come with terms to the fact that United of 10, 12 seasons ago is not United today. Let's just for 1 minute revisit United since Sir Alex Ferguson left. What has happened to them? They haven't won the league. They've been second about 3 times. They've won the Carabao Cup and then the Europa League. That's not United. So they have to come to the terms that they have to start back somewhere. Being fourth, being third, being second, it's good for United at the point. But now going back to Eric Ten Hag, United is in a situation where I think the powers that be are not willing to rebuild. So they're doing quick fixes, signing Varane, who is injury prone, who's won everything to bring experience, bringing in a 32 or 31-year-old Casemiro at 60 million to repair some stuff, bringing in Ericsson, who is technically skilled and experienced, but he doesn't have that physicality and that vision like he used to have before to help maybe the attacking phase. Then bringing in Hoyland, who is yet to prove himself as a top striker. Hoyland is good. But when we look at a team like United, Manchester United that wants to chase the title, Hoyland is not the player you need to rely on. He's good to be a backup striker or a starter for United, where they have other players that score goals. If you have a striker that is not scoring goals on a every other game or every game, it means you have wingers or attacking midfielders who can do the job. So Hoyland, you cannot. Okay, United they play games and they lose the game, and here they're saying we miss Hoyland. Hoyland is not the kind of player a top team should miss when he's absent. So they're doing a good. They're trying to rebuild, and then at the same time doing the quick fixes. That's where the issue is. They should come to terms and say, okay, this is what we want to do. We're going to sacrifice 1 or 2 seasons, finish fourth, or go to the Europa League, Get in some 23, 24, or some, if mix it with a few 27, 28-year-old experienced players and get ourselves back to keep fighting for the league every season. Finishing second this year, finishing fourth next year, finishing fifth next year, it's not consistency. Give your 2 3 seasons, 2 seasons, finish fourth, fifth. And then the other seasons now you start fighting that top three like you see Arsenal, Liverpool, City are fighting now. Because if City finishes first and Liverpool finishes third, or if Arsenal finishes first, City finishes third, or if Liverpool finishes first, Arsenal finishes third, you still see that those three teams are going to probably fight till the end. That's how I want to see the league look at. That's how I want to see those top teams, those teams they call themselves top teams fight for. So choose yourself. If you're doing a quick fix, you do a quick fix. If you want to rebuild, you rebuild. That's how I look at it.
Okay, Nico, I know the best way I want to handle this is go back and forth because when we talk about the EPL or the EPL race, we know there are three teams involved, right?
Yes.
So now that is a race. I mean, what do you make with the way actually Liverpool won yesterday? Because I watched the game, right? There was a foul on the Liverpool defender, Konate.
Okay. Yes.
That foul was by their own goalkeeper.
Hmm.
You understand? And the ref did not blow a foul. It was like a head injury, right? So the
Hmm.
ref did not actually blow it. But what's the team they played again?
Forest.
Forest,
Forest
Nottingham
was in
Forest.
possession.
Hmm.
Then the ref saw the player down. Under normal circumstances, you blow the foul in order if it's a head injury for medical attention to be given the player. But the controversy came when the ref gave the ball to Liverpool instead of Forest because it
Forest.
was
Yes.
Forest's ball. What do you make of that? Because it was a lot that happened that triggered. You saw the owner of Forest came and he was shown a red card. It was a lot of commotion after. So what do you make of that? Because some Arsenal fans on X talking about
A lot
match
of it.
fixing. What do you make of that?
So the drop ball, all of us saw that. We've probably heard it talked about on Match of the Day on Sky and other channels. They examined that. But the one thing to say is that was a drop ball that should have gone to the other team. Yes. But even without that, right? Even without that, you look past the fact that that drop ball went to the wrong person. There were, I think, a minute and 20 seconds after that, and the ball still got there, and then it became a corner kick. And then they had Nottingham Forest had two players who had two chances to clear the zone. Last minute of the game, you are in your box. The corner kick has dropped to your feet in your box. No reason why Awoniyi would try to take a touch inside his box. The game is over. Put the ball out. Simple, elementary football. Put the ball out, take your point. You're playing against Liverpool. You are
So
playing against Liverpool. Even if the drop ball went to Nottingham Forest in that case, we could have still ended up in this situation with a last minute ball. So I personally think Nottingham Forest should not use that as an excuse because I think Arsenal fans are using that as an excuse just for talking points. I am not one of those. I'm not going to stay on it because I'm a referee. I'm a ref. Sometimes you make these decisions based on the situation on the game. If I give the ball to the wrong team, hey, fair play, you hand it to the other team. You can kick it, but it's up to the players on the field. But that's even besides the point. If Awoniyi just put that ball out, and there was even the other guy who touched the ball before Awoniyi. I don't know. I don't remember the name. But if he put the ball out, we would not be talking about this as cheating and stuff like that, right?
well, I don't think yeah some of the Peter fans would say it's cheating, but
Hmm.
I would say mistakes are actually part of the game, although we try to curb those mistakes because it was actually a mistake. The ball should have gone to
It
Forest.
should have. Yes, it should have.
However, however, it did not.
And
Let's move on. Let's
there were
talk
two
about.
minutes after that, almost 2 minutes of play, and that ball became a corner kick, right? Because
But it was the same action.
same, yes, but at
Yeah,
least time. There's still time that passed, so they had a chance to adjust it. Just like the foul today against Rashford, which led to the goal. A lot of people will say, "Oh, Rashford was pushed over." Okay, that's a 50-50 ball. If the ref calls it, good. If the ref doesn't call it, it's over. Keep playing.
yeah, but exactly. That's a point I wanted to make, and I want to ask I have this question because
Hmm.
I've been very critical about Rashford and the way he plays. Because for me, that's not a foul. Football is a contact sport, right?
Hmm.
So someone puts a hand on you, it has to go for a duration of time before the ref can actually call it. So now Rashford decides to go down, and that action leads to a goal because you see in the first half the reason why the Manchester left back of the day was able to defend against Foden is because there was a double team. Rashford goes down on that play. He's not there to help defender, and Foden scores. What do you think about that, especially given the criticism that has been going through against Rashford? Ajab, tell me about Rashford. What do you think about
Um,
his play today?
before leading up to his, before talking about his play today, Rashford has not been. He's not receptive to feedback. Not to. He's not receptive to criticism. Yeah, he's not receptive to it because if you see the way he plays, Rashford is playing like he's been on top of his game all season. He's been so nonchalant, and it's affecting him every day in, day out. Rashford is playing like, back in the days where some of those pros used to come back home on the 30 holidays and they playing maybe the Sante with quarter guys. They don't want to be touched. They don't want to get back injured and go back to their home to the clubs. That's how Rashford is playing right now. Ever since he had that salary increment, Rashford his game has changed. And today, that foul that led to City's goal is not a foul. To me, it's not even a 50-50, it's a 60-40. Yeah, it's not even a 50-50, it's a 60-40. And it's because Rashford is being who he is. Sometimes the refs they take that into consideration. You can go to
Exactly.
Neymar. So, yeah, sometimes you can foul Neymar, the ref will not blow because Neymar is known as a diver. So he's been doing it, yeah, repeatedly, habitually. He's been doing it. It's become a habit. So, but that particular case wasn't a foul. If you ask me, it wasn't a foul, and it led to a goal. And Rashford was looking at the last few games or the last 10 games. Even Rashford scoring and after he scored, he was looking like he was about 75% of the Rashford we knew when he was on top of his game. So I was like, oh, maybe Rashford is going to use this game to get back to himself. But he just retrieved. He just went back to his former self. So I don't know. I don't know what's
Yeah.
going on with
So
Rashford. There's
If I
something
may
up there.
jump
I
in,
don't know. He needs
if
to
you may
work on
let
it.
me jump in.
yeah, go ahead.
During the game, I was watching the game with my fellow Man U fan, Innocent, and I commented to him right after Rashford scored, and there was a push on him at some point, I think in the 40th minute, and I saw his body language change, and throughout the game, his body language was not the same anymore. So I kept saying to him, watch his body language. And I compared it many times to Nicola Pepe of Arsenal's old team because I saw all the markings of a player who is mentally exhausted, mentally just tired. It's like something needs to happen to Rashford to bring that spark back because
I
he
don't
is
know.
not the Rashford of, even with
Yeah.
the goal today. He did celebrate. You saw the celebration, but in the celebration itself, you almost could see him trying to say something in that celebration. So if I were Ten Hag, I would maybe give him some time on the bench or something. I don't know if it will even help, but
That's not
something
help.
has happened to
Yeah.
Rashford that is not it has just caused this guy's stock to drop so
Yeah.
bad.
Yeah.
And I feel so bad, so bad. The the
See,
the other thing I want to say about this Man U game today, the defense played so deep. They were laying back. You could see like many times Bruno Fernandez will be chasing the ball. He's all the way up there, and the next line of players behind him would be behind the center line. And Bruno Fernandez is in the box trying to attack the ball and stop Edison from making a pass from behind. And so that was something I noticed. And I think United has a huge issue, which is what Ajab alluded to earlier, where they since Alex Ferguson left, United has not been the same team ever, ever. And it's gonna take a while for them to fix that problem because they have
Yeah.
a really aging team.
Okay. Yeah. But since you brought up the name of Sir Alex Ferguson, right? I want
Mhm.
to be realistic because this is a problem that has been going. Let's just get out of subject matter a little bit.
mhm.
Do you think Sir Alex Ferguson with the United would have been competitive against Klopp and and Pep Guardiola? Because these two managers, I keep saying this, right? We can call Sir Alex Ferguson, we can call, yes, he's a good coach, but Klopp and Pep Guardiola has raised the bar. So the bar is so much high, so much that I think that even Sir Alex Ferguson would have had a problem with these two guys. What do you guys think?
Um, um, Sir Alex Ferguson's reign at United, let's say the last 10 years of Sir Alex Ferguson before Jose Mourinho came, he almost owned the EPL. When Mourinho came, things started changing. When Wenger came, yeah, things changed. And then when Mourinho came, things finally changed. They were swapping and all that. And then Mancini came and then something happened. If you had Sir Alex Ferguson right now at United, it will be very tough for him. But I think in the last, if you had Sir Alex Ferguson with the man management and the way he coached his players, the last 10 seasons, I guarantee United would have won at least one EPL, and then they would have been fighting that. No, City
With the
has been
same
winning
player,
the City has been winning the championship maybe with 2, 3, 4 days to go. He would have
with the
been
same
having
players,
those pieces where, sorry,
with the same players.
yes, not the same players, but same level of players because Ferguson will not go for. I will not say with the same players because Ferguson will not sign Casemiro. Ferguson will not sign Casemiro. Ferguson will not sign Varane, who
Varane,
has
even
achieved
Amrabat.
everything at Real Madrid and is almost he's past his prime, and then
Even
you make him
Amrabat.
one of your highest paid players. Ferguson will go. If you had Ferguson at United, you will see some players from the other teams in EPL
Yeah.
coming to United,
Even the
not
guy.
just those average players.
Yeah. Even the
That's
guy.
one thing too with Ferguson. And something Ferdinand mentioned about Ferguson was this: tactically, Ferdinand wasn't a genius like the other coaches, like maybe Mourinho or Pep Guardiola or Klopp. But Ferguson was the one who made Welbeck think he's better than Wayne Rooney. And when he goes into the pitch, that's what is at the back of his mind. So Ferguson was good at that. So that's why I'm thinking Ferguson would have won at least. I'm not saying he's going to walk. The league now, only Guardiola has made us think that the Premier League is like the presidential election in Cameroon. You have the votes. So, yeah, Guardiola, Pep is on another level. Let's forget about even the money he spends. It's on another level. But Ferguson would have struggled, but I guess he would have given Pep and Klopp a run for their money. Trust
Oh
me.
man, you made me laugh. You made me laugh. To
Yeah,
me,
he would have given
that's a
them a
hard
run for
line,
their
man.
money.
You
Yeah.
made me laugh. That's a hard line. Yeah, but before we get out of this Manchester City subject, right? We're talking about Manchester City a lot. Let's spread the wings a little bit. I want to talk about Onana. We cannot get out of this thing without talking about Onana because Onana has been the talk of the season. He's been talked. He's the most talked player in football. Talked about player in football.
Yeah.
What do you guys think of Onana's performances? You can start, Nico.
I think today he wasn't bad. You could see. I mean, he got the pre-assist, right. It was his clearance that got the ball up to Bruno, and then allowed Bruno to make the layoff for Rashford to put it home, to strike home in the first goal. I think Onana is a center. Is a controversial figure because of how Man U's team is set up right now. In a different team, he would be thriving and he would be a star. I just imagine him being in that Arsenal team, for example, right now, with the way we try to play out from the back and do all that work. Um, Man U doesn't have that, right? You could see it today when the ball went to Amrabat and he lost it to Rodri, and then it turned out to be the third goal. Nothing Onana can do in that instance. He's been asked to play the ball back, to play the ball short. He plays it short to a defender. The defender lays it off to Casemiro. Casemiro decides to punt it over the person coming to block him to Amrabat. That sets up Amrabat because he has to take more than two touches to put the ball down and then make a pass. That stops you from thinking and playing. I mean, he's a professional. Yes, he should be able to know. He should know what to do in that situation. But in that instance, how can you blame the keeper? And there was another pass he made straight from the back that went well, and I think was it
Rashford.
McTominay or yeah, Rashford. He could have scored. He could have taken that ball on and take. But you can tell it's just the Man U is looking. The team is set up in a way that anybody who makes a single a mistake that doesn't suit the supporters or fit the narrative becomes a scapegoat. And I think Onana has been scapegoated a lot this season because if
Okay.
you look at it, the stats don't lie. He has made more saves, right? He has prevented more goals than a lot of keepers in the Premier League this season. So I just think the Man U setup right now allows for him to be the scapegoat, and it just goes because a lot of people just get on that bandwagon. But I think he did really well today. The second goal Foden scored, no way a keeper stops that. No way. He had a hand on it, but no way keeper stops that. The first goal they scored, same thing. You can't stop that. And then the third goal, look at that. Like the defender gives away, midfielder gives away the ball right there in the top of the box. Hey, you leave Haaland no choice but to score. You know, so no problems with Onana today. His performance was okay, all right. I would give him a 6/10. Unfortunately, just because he took 3 goals. But outside of that, he's been pretty solid for Man U. In
Okay,
fact, without Onana, I think Man U would be in the bottom half of the table right now.
okay. I have. Let me ask you this question a little bit differently, right? We saw a big miss by Haaland,
Yeah.
easy tapping. But what do you make of that third goal by Haaland, the way he scored? Could Onana have stopped that goal? What do you think?
Onana would have. I don't think. I don't think Onana would have stopped that goal.
Did you see the technique? Because I'm intrigued. Did you see the technique Haaland used on that goal? Because the ball was under his feet, right? So it's different. It's difficult to generate pace
And
when the
and,
ball is under your feet.
and
But if
that's
you see
something.
the way he struck that ball,
Mhm.
it was a curler, and that ball
Yeah.
was not slow. I mean, what do
And
you make of that technique?
that's something people fail to understand. Haaland is not a ball playing striker, but watch Haaland the way he scores his goals. He curls from anywhere, any position he is. Center, he curls. Corner, he curls. He's not a ball playing striker, and that's one thing I like about Haaland.
Yeah, I
A
enjoyed.
game,
Yeah, go
a
ahead.
game,
Go ahead.
a game he doesn't score, he's a flop. But it's rare to see a game he doesn't score, so that's why he hardly flops. You understand?
True. Very
Because
true.
Yeah,
that's how Haaland is. Either he scores or he flops. He's not the type of striker that would say will make some moves and give an assist or something, right? But
yep.
that's it. Hey, they will Haaland not play fine. You need to see for fee, but it's rare that he doesn't score, and that's the only good thing he knows to score. But he still, no matter how bad he is, he still tries to score. And Pep has tried to develop something else in Haaland that maybe he's still young. In 2, 3 seasons, Haaland will be way better than he is now. That hold up play.
Oh wow.
Haaland was just a physical striker that scores. Now Pep is adding that hold up play to his game because you have another kid like Alvarez who scores and is good with the ball. And that's why if you see Haaland has been trying, Pep has been trying this season to use both of them because he knows Alvarez is too good to be on the bench.
Oh wow. Okay,
So
let's trans.
He used Alvarez a little bit behind Haaland to make Haaland play sometimes when everyone is focused on Haaland. Haaland plays that hold up and gives Alvarez the chance to move forward. So what's going to happen is this. Haaland is good. And I don't think Onana would have saved that goal today. But something I was just wanted to throw a little bit about Onana performance this season is that Onana was brought to United because of Ten Hag's philosophy, playing from the back. And if you don't have that playing from the back defenders, no matter how good the goalkeeper is good to start the game, you will not. If you watch sometimes when they play with Maguire or the other, they give the ball to Maguire. Maguire tries to get and bring it back to Onana. When you have the other guy who came from Ajax with Onana, what's his name? He came in last season and he's injured. The
What's
Argentina
his
guy,
The guy
the
who's injured, Martinez.
Martinez?
Martinez. If you look, Martinez is not technically gifted, but he's good with removing the ball from the back.
Mhm.
Watch any game Onana plays with Martinez from today, and watch the other games where he plays with the other defenders. See how United is good with moving the ball from the back. So
Yeah,
Onana's game is not working. Onana, I know people will say the first role of a goalkeeper is shot stopper. Onana is not a horrible shot stopper. He's not horrible. He's not a top world shot stopper like De Gea, but he has more options to a team than De Gea.
Mhm.
That's why even with the Spain national team, De Gea was not able to start. They were starting Unai Martinez. Sometimes even Kepa was starting over De Gea. You understand? So Onana, we United, maybe with time, maybe next season. I don't know how United is going to go with an overhaul and maybe bring in some new players, but let's wait and see what happens. This first season,
yeah,
Onana has not been bad, but he's not been the way I was expecting him to be with United. United has been chipping in goals, which I won't blame him. But a goalkeeper is as good as his defense, like they said. He was at Inter Milan last year. He considered the least amount of goals. He left Inter Milan. Ian Sommer came. Ian Sommer too has considered the least amount of goals. So people now are now saying it's the Inter defense, it's not Onana, which it's 50. It could be, it could not be. So let's wait and see what happens next to Onana.
yeah. Good points there. Before we actually transition, I want us also to transition a little bit, go and talk about the game tomorrow. I know Arsenal actually plays Sheffield United tomorrow, but there has been this comparison, right, between my man of the match or the man of the match today, which is Foden, and a
Saka.
player like Saka. Okay, I want to bring that up, and I want Nico to tackle that because here is the argument that I've made, right? Here's the argument that I've made. Saka plays in a young team, the third one of the third youngest team in the EPL, which is
Mm-hmm.
Arsenal, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a young team. His responsibilities and the number of games he plays there
Mm-hmm.
are many. He receives double team more than a guy like Foden.
Yeah.
So I believe it's unfair to look at Foden's accomplishments and say Foden is better than Saka. I mean, what do you think? You are an Arsenal fan, Nico. What do you make about that?
So this is kind of a situation where we're going because Messi and Ronaldo have retired or are retiring from football. I think football fans have looked where they could pick out some players to start another controversial conversation, who is better than who. But the truth is, Saka and Foden, oh man, they're just so impressive. Both of them are having an amazing season, right? Um, if you look at stats, I like to look at numbers sometimes. Foden has an edge on the number of goals, output, stuff like that. But outside of that, you want to look at impact on the team. Um, if there were a penalty, for example, or a free kick in a team between Arsenal and Man City, they don't give it to Foden, right? But they would give the penalty to Saka. That tells you that the player has influence in the team, and they're building a team around that player, right? In this case, Saka. Arsenal's like he's our star boy, right? In Foden, you see a player who produces based on the system that the coach has put him in. um Today, even in his post-game interview, you could tell he's saying that this is what the coach has asked him to do so he can impact the game more, he can have more influence in the game and things like that, right? Which is a big plus for him. It's good, it helps in the system that Pep is set up to play. But if you take Foden out of that team, you can put in Grealish and he will do the same thing. If you take out Foden and you put in Alvarez in that same place, he will do the same thing. You take out Foden, you put in Bernardo Silva, he will do the same thing. On Arsenal side, you take out Saka, there's really no comparison from the bench, right? So it comes down to the influence that player has on the team, their impact as part of that team. And in this case, I would say, hey, Foden is better technically, whatever, but I think Saka is more well rounded. He is able to press from the top. He's able to defend. We've seen Saka play defense before. He started out as a left back, right? We've seen him playing defense. We've seen Saka playing midfield role where he drops to the middle. Foden has done some of that attacking work, on the wing and in the middle. But we've seen Saka do defensive work too. So I think Saka is a little more well-rounded than Foden. But Foden does produce going forward attacking. He's a little better in terms of okay, the system gives him that ability to do it. Like and today, man, like look at today's game. The time, okay, so as I said, I was watching the game with someone, and when Kevin De Bruyne got that ball for the second goal, when he got the ball, and the United defender, the guy from Democratic Republic of Congo, the young guy, ran
Yeah, the new
towards
player.
yeah, he ran towards him to stop that ball. I told my buddy, I was like, look, this is a goal. And he's like, what do you mean? I said, as soon as they laid off that ball to Foden, see the movement he took. 2 steps, and it opened up space behind Casemiro. And that ball came back to him and he struck goal. That's just how you can almost see it's instinctive with him. That's the thing he brings to that team. And because he knows the system, he's able to influence it in that manner. And with Saka, it's a little different. Saka will stop the ball, try to beat his man before playing the ball. But Foden will do the movement because he knows this ball is going to come eventually. And
Yeah,
it's something we're seeing Saka do, right? Saka has started doing some of that movement where he's coming into the middle, taking the ball, laying it off, and taking off. And it happens mostly when he's playing with Jorginho and Partey. When he's playing with when Rice is playing, Saka doesn't do that as much. So, but
yeah,
I
and
mean,
it's true.
they're two very talented guys, man. They're two very talented guys.
Yeah, I do agree. They both have their strengths and their weaknesses. They both can play multiple different roles. They both can carry teams, as we say, because this season we have seen Foden. De Bruyne has been injured for quite a while, but we have seen Foden fitting. But let's actually move in. I mean, they are two great players. I think Southgate will have a problem because he has so much talent, and then everyone will expect him to win the Euro. So it's his problem to solve. But let's jump into the game tomorrow. Arsenal plays Sheffield United. Sheffield is the last. I'm sorry, of the table.
Hmm.
What do
Mhm.
you think Arsenal was gonna? Because we've seen Arsenal. It doesn't matter where they play you, home or away. They are shattering team. So what do you think Arsenal will do? Yeah, now that Liverpool and Manchester City have both won their games.
Um, it's gonna be a game where Arsenal is gonna take the results, Liverpool results yesterday, and Manchester City's result today. They're not gonna take it with a grain of salt. They're gonna be like really pissed. So this is a game where if Sheffield United comes to sit at the back and play deep, it's gonna be 4-0. If Sheffield United comes out to play, it's gonna be 6-0. Yeah.
So pick your
So,
poison is what you're saying.
huh?
Yeah, pick your
Pick your
poison.
poison. You're telling them to pick their poison. That's what you're
Yep.
saying.
Yeah,
Pick your
yeah,
poison.
yeah. If they sit at the back, it's gonna be 4-0. United is sorry, Arsenal is good at set pieces. If
Okay.
you sit back to play, if they come forward, oh, I want to play, maybe. But sometimes they always say, Maui, not get none if you lose, not get nothing, no go worry. Because if you look at the way I think Sheffield, they're done already. They're relegated, so they might just come in and say, let's play. But the way United, the way Arsenal is it's the way Arsenal how poisonous Arsenal is looking at the moment. They will score a minimum of 4 goals tomorrow. Let me put it that way. It's going to be at least 4 goals tomorrow.
Okay. So I mean, we have arrived like we are now beyond the 30-minute mark, but we try to feed our content in the 30 minutes. But sometimes we have to just talk, especially when we have games like the one today. We have games coming up tomorrow. But before we go ahead with the show, let's actually just read some comments. Maybe I think Nico does that best. Nico,
Mhm.
help us just go through the comments and
Okay. Let's see here. I have Bitacola with the players Ten Hag has, and with the way they are playing now, they are going nowhere. Period. Interesting.
I do agree.
Yeah,
Yeah, I do
I
agree. Yeah,
agree.
that's why I
I
was saying
agree.
let's look forward to next year and see what's going to happen. I do agree. The
Mhm.
players they have, then injuries have not helped them. Look at Lindelof playing a left back today. There was a time where Amrabat was the one playing left back. Malasia has been injured all season. I don't even know if he's going to come back and be a footballer.
Yeah, but
I mean, Luke Shaw comes in, goes. Yeah, so I know they say injury is part of football, but you have some
of
injuries that are
course,
hurt.
of course, of
You
course.
cannot, a team will not sign 3 left backs because injury is part of football. The two
No,
left
no,
backs they have
but
been injured
teams.
all season.
But I don't like when people bring up injuries because everyone deals with injuries and everyone rotates players. So we cannot say
Yeah, no,
injuries
but
is a part of. And
there's some injuries.
what about the lower teams that don't have as much as
No,
many talented players?
I'm talking about the top teams. The reason top teams may not perform, injuries hurt. Some injuries hurt more than others. When you have
Yeah,
a team that at some point,
but
when you have a team at some point,
we have seen Manchester United lost to lower teams.
yes, yes, but we're talking about the season in general, not one game. When you have a time where a team has 12 players injured, 12 first team players injured, if yeah, we can't neglect the fact that injuries is gonna hurt them,
What
even though
about
injury is part
Liverpool?
of the game. Huh?
Liverpool has so many injuries. Liverpool,
Yeah, no, but we mentioned. I
Liverpool,
talked about Liverpool. I talked
it's
about
good
Liverpool.
coaching. So
I
why
talked
can Ten
about
Hag not
I talked about
show
Liverpool.
us?
I talked about Liverpool yesterday, last week, that the injuries may affect their race, the title race.
No, but I'm talking
Yeah,
about fundamentals, seeing a style of play, like a schema, the way seeing patterns in your game. We don't see patterns in the game Manchester United plays. Okay,
yeah, because that's not
that's an argument for
exactly,
later. Let's go ahead. Let's
exactly,
stay focused. Come on, Nico. Let's
exactly.
go.
Yeah, yeah.
So the next I mean you guys make some good points, but let's look at the comments and then we'll go back. I think we should have a show to just talk about this part. Injuries are part of football. I know Ajab and I argue this all the time because he was trying to same thing with Newcastle and I was telling him like no, when you go into the season, that's why your team is supposed to have 25 players or 26 players registered, right? You know injuries are going to happen. That's why. So, anyways, Onana had a good game. That's from Zago. Zago says good point at Jab, and he also talked about Sir Alexander Chapman Ferguson. I'm giving all his government names there.
Exactly. Now you sign those are fanatics.
Yep.
You know,
JC Julius, what do you guys think of Bruno Fernandez? I think we talked a little bit about this one.
I can
Yeah.
I can
Yeah,
Let
I
me
so
can
just
talk.
let
I
me
can
just
throw one more two words about
yeah,
Bruno
Yeah.
Fernandes.
exactly. That's
I
something I
think
wanted to say. Yeah,
I
go
think
ahead.
he's not a captain. For me, I think he's not a captain. He's a good player, but he's not a captain. And I will say something that might many of you guys might not agree. I think the future of captain of Manchester United is Onana. Onana will become the future captain of
It
Manchester
depends. It
United.
depends on who is there, right? Who continues, right? Yeah, he has some leadership qualities, but it
Yep.
depends on who is there. But what I wanted to say about Bruno Fernandez is a good player. He's not a top player. I've had situations where I stopped talking football with people who said Bruno Fernandez is better than Kevin De Bruyne because Kevin De Bruyne is playing for a better team. So I stopped talking football to them. When they text me, I just say hi, yeah, how they bring football, I switch. But no, seriously. Some people say it's my opinion, but not everything will have to be. When you have a conversation or a banter with someone and he starts by saying it's my opinion, it means he's just trying to create some arguments. So you cannot tell me Bruno Fernandez is better than De Bruyne. Is that he plays for a less talented team? If you bring De Bruyne to United, he will not play like Fernandez. So I just said, okay, you're correct. Let's not go. Let's not continue.
Even for Portugal,
Yeah,
this
he's
guy
a
is
good.
a problem.
I don't know. Okay, if they ask you, True Lion or Nico, what's um, uh, Bruno Fernandez, what's his preferred position on the pitch? What will you say? Is it a eight? Is it a 10? Is it a
8 or 10.
winger? Is it? I don't know. What's
Yeah,
his?
he
Is he
doesn't.
an attacking midfielder? Is he a central midfielder? Is he a
Truth is,
playmaker? I don't know his preferred position.
I don't want to say the guy is not coachable,
I
but
think he is.
that's how it comes
I
out to
think he's
me.
not coachable. I don't think he's coachable. He makes it all about himself every time.
Exactly.
If you
Exactly.
looked at the game today, there was a moment where the ball hit him in the stomach and he stayed on the floor for a good like two transitions of the ball. Like, why? You're the freaking captain. Get up and get on with You're not made of paper. You're not made of paper. You go back and watch the game. The game, when you get a chance, just watch. He was on the floor and they were attacking on Manu. This is not the first time he has done it. It's not the second time he has done it this season. It's not the third time he has done it. He is talented, yes, but he's a very frustrating player to have in your attacking midfield, and he cannot lead by example. And I'm not surprised that you're suggesting players like Onana becoming captain of Manu. But the truth is, if Rashford was having a good season, by now he would be wearing that captain band. If Rashford was having a good season,
No,
by
no,
now he
no,
would be wearing
No,
a captain
no.
band.
Fernandez will stay as the captain.
yeah,
Rashford
no,
would have been a potential name to be captain for United. He's been there.
Mhm.
He's a youth product. He's been there for how long? God knows.
Yeah, he's been
He
there
doesn't
for
have those qualities. He doesn't. I
yeah.
think he doesn't have those qualities. So it's a shame,
It's a
yeah,
But
big
let's
shame.
yeah,
Anyways,
let's
let's
finish
move
with
on.
the comments.
Let's
mhm.
move on. And there's a comment here from Zago saying he's never been a fan of Bruno Fernandez's game, and I agree. I'm with him on that one. And someone calling me out here on numbers not meaning anything without context.
Yeah.
It makes sense. It makes sense. There's always context behind numbers, but sometimes there's a quote that says if you beat up data enough, it's gonna tell you the story. So hey, you never know. Um, both Saka and Foden are amazing, but Foden to me gets the edge. I agree. In terms of being versatile, I disagree with you, Nico. Nah, I don't think Foden is as versatile as Saka. I think Foden can play different roles up front effectively than Saka. Yes, up front he can, but Saka can defend, Saka can attack, Saka can play midfield. Yeah, so he's more well-rounded. Anyways, JC continues. That is not even a game. I am with Ajab. It will be at least 4-0 for Arsenal. I strongly believe it will be 6-0. Okay, yeah, I think he was talking about Sheffield United versus Arsenal. Um, and then JC also commented about uh, injuries being part of the game. You cannot make excuses. My team Spurs has been. Wait, JC, you're a Spurs fan? Jeez, no wonder you don't like Saka. My team Spurs has been greatly impeded by injuries, but we cannot make excuses. We have played a lot of games without a central defender. Absolutely correct. That's why you're allowed to put a team together of what 25 players, 26 players throughout the season, and you are allowed to bring in players from the academy to help. So yes,
Injury.
injuries are
Let's
part
go
of the
ahead.
game.
We'll
That's a
talk about
conversation
that.
for
We'll talk
another day.
about that another day.
Ajab won't concede this point, but
Yeah,
I
we'll talk
agree.
about that another day. Don't worry.
Um,
We'll talk
so the
about it.
next part, City played the first 2 months of the season with De Bruyne and John Stones. Injury is part of the game. I agree with you, Wana. I agree. Jean Wana just commented on that. I agree. JC continues. I like Bruno Fernandes, but Kevin De Bruyne is a whole different level. We all know and agree. Whoever said whatever said, I'm going to follow Ajab. yeah, you can't have a conversation with someone like that. Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the EPL, not just this season, but I would say the last 3 seasons or so. Top, 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 and special player Kevin De Bruyne. Agree, agree. That's it for the stream here. Let's see Facebook. I don't see a
I
comment
don't.
on Facebook. Do
Yeah.
you see one?
No, I don't see. I don't see one.
And
Yeah,
I
but I
see.
disagree. I
Yeah.
disagree when you say that Kevin De Bruyne is the best player in the EPL this year. No,
No,
I'm
no,
not
no.
sure.
This year he's been impeded by injury. I think, but I mean, he's top class, man. We've seen
Oh
him
yeah.
come on the
Oh
game
yeah.
and just freaking change the game. Kevin De
So
Bruyne is
sorry,
amazing
one minute before we go. Who is your best player in the EPL so far this season?
for
This
me.
season,
Yes.
yeah, it's
Tough,
very difficult to say. It's very difficult to say
yeah,
this season. But I've seen great performances from Foden. I've seen
yeah,
great performances from Saka. I've seen great performances from Odegaard. Then there's a player where a lot of he's been receiving a lot of stick, especially last year because of his defensive. Van Dijk.
Van Dijk,
Van
Virgil Van
Dijk.
Dijk.
Van Dijk, I think, still remains like the best defender in the league. However, the best defensive pair for me in the league has been Gabriel Jesus and Saliba. But
Yeah,
single-handedly, I think Van Dijk is still the best defender
I'm
in the league.
surprised. I'm surprised you didn't say Declan Rice because he's been. I think
Nah,
he's been
nah, nah.
Yeah.
pivotal for
No,
Arsenal
Let me
the
and
tell you,
problem
like
is
let me tell you
this:
something.
Rice is
progressively he
suffering.
brings a lot, and then defensively he brings a lot.
Rice is suffering from something. A lot of people say English players are overrated, so they don't want
Thank
to
you,
watch English players again.
thank
Rice
you.
has been exceptional, but when you mention that, a lot of people just say, "Ah, those
No,
English
but
players
let
are
me tell you
overrated."
why Rice
You
cannot be
understand?
the best player. Let me tell
No,
you
no,
why
no,
this season.
not
Top
best,
five,
but
at least he should
he
be in
should
the
be in the
top five.
conversation.
I
He
think he
should
should
be
be
in
in
the
the top five
conversation.
The
because
Yeah,
conversation
not not
of
best. If you
of
want to
what?
mention best players of
He's
the
not even the
season,
best. I mean, he's not the
Rice.
top. He's not the top. Let me see.
midfielder. Is that what you want to
He's
say?
not top
Yeah.
two, three best players in Arsenal.
No,
Okay,
no,
because if you
no.
ask me, the only player
Because
better than Rice in Arsenal this season,
mhm.
not it's Odegaard.
It's Odegaard.
It's Odegaard.
Exactly.
No, no, I don't think so.
No, I think I
Saka
I
see
think
had a time where
The two
consistency.
defenders, Saliba and Gabriel, have been better than him.
Okay. Well,
Yes.
let's disagree. Let's agree to disagree. Anyways, guys, I've wanted to make this point since we started the stream, but I really do want to point out that Liverpool is not going to win the league this year.
okay.
Liverpool is not going to win the league. Let me say this. I have watched Liverpool's trajectory throughout.
Mm-hmm,
If you
mm-hmm,
looked at Arsenal last year, at this point we were top of the league. We had just beaten I think Everton 3-0,
mm-hmm,
5-0, 5-0.
mm-hmm.
Liverpool on Wednesday beat was it Sheffield United 3-0.
Yeah.
Today, March 2nd, 2024,
Today is
Darwin
March
Nu-
3rd.
March 3rd, sorry, 2020,
Mm-hmm,
yesterday, March 2nd, 2024.
mm-hmm,
Darwin Nunes came off the bench in the 60th minute
mm-hmm,
and scored a last minute goal to
mm-hmm,
beat Nottingham Forest 1-0.
mm-hmm.
Last year, March 4th, 2023, Reece Nielsen came off the bench in the 69th minute. Listen, in the 69th minute and scored the winning goal for Arsenal to beat Bournemouth.
To beat Bournemouth, yeah.
Arsenal had just beaten Everton 5-0,
Uh-huh. Yes.
and Liverpool just beat Sheffield United 3-0.
Southampton. They beat
Southampton,
Southampton
sorry,
in
Southampton
the cup.
3-0
It's a
in
cup
the
game,
cup.
so
Okay,
it's
so
different, man.
so my thinking is Liverpool is going to spend up all their chances of this last minute goal scoring thing, just like Arsenal. They get one more chance to win in the last minute of a game
Nico,
this season, and that's it.
Nico,
And they will start losing games.
say Arsenal, you can say Liverpool will not win the league, but the reason you're giving is not a tangible, it's not a valid reason. Yeah, Liverpool, you can
Nice.
say
I
Liverpool will
had to
not win
throw
the
that
league.
in
Yes, they
there.
don't use those you don't use those things
Guy,
to say that.
because I
Yeah,
was
yeah.
reminded today. I was reminded today of Rhys Nelson's goal. Like, because I had set a reminder in my calendar, so I will need to check in next year to see where Rhys Nelson is. And today I was reminded, like, hey, in a day's time, in 24 hours, you need to check in on Rhys Nelson's progress.
I
And
gave
I
my
was just
reason.
thinking to myself,
I gave my
I was
reason
just
why I
thinking,
think Liverpool will struggle to win the league, but you guys are saying it's part of football, so let's leave it.
Yeah, I mean, injuries are always part of football, and
Yeah.
let's actually get maybe 3 more minutes. We can freestyle, talk
yeah,
about the league, talk about top four,
yeah.
talk about relegation. I actually watched what's the name The
Oh,
former Manchester United player who coaches
Com-
company.
company
company.
now.
Vincent
Actually,
Company.
watch companies.
Burnley.
Yeah, Burnley. I actually
Vincent
watched
Kompany.
companies Burnley today. Possession of about 74, created chances. Players cannot score. Then they
Yeah,
beat them 2-0. I mean, when you look at a team like Burnley, I know if it was another coach, a lot of people say fire, fire, fire. But when I watched that team today, I understood that their problem was the quality in the players, and
yeah.
that Burnley will go back to the will be relegated.
Mhm.
Relegated. Yeah, that's
Yeah,
always been the
let's
case.
call
I'm,
it
I think.
I'm a
as
fan.
it is,
I'm a
and
fan
it will
of
not
live
be
football.
it
Yeah.
will not be because of company. It will
Mhm.
be because they understand that the team did not buy enough good players that
Yes.
can, because the
Yes.
finishing and the delivery of some of those players were actually, it's not top class. It's not top flight.
Yeah.
I mean, what do you
Yeah.
guys think?
Yeah.
You can freestyle. You can talk about whatever subject you want to talk
True
about.
Lion.
Let's do
True Lion. I'm
EPL.
a fan. Like I said, first thing I started watching football because I like football. It's entertainment. All that thing say football now for win. I can't be watching Burnley playing Bournemouth and then I say football now for win. I want to entertain myself. I'm not a fan of any of those teams. Maybe I'm a fan of one football team. So every other 1,000 teams cannot be playing, and my focus is that I want someone to win. I want to enjoy football. I want to enjoy football. But company, he plays champagne football. You play champagne football with the quality you have. Once you know you don't have the quality to maintain that standard of football throughout the season, sometimes go the what's his name, the manager of Everton, Sondage, go the
John
Sondage
Dye.
way, go the Sondage
Yeah.
way or the Tony Pulis way. Get some of your points and then you go back to champagne football. Not every game. Burnley is playing United. They start from the back. They want to build up play. They play City. They want to build up play. They play Chelsea. They want to build up play. They play Arsenal. You don't do that. You can pick some of your games and do that. Some games you decide to go counter, zip, and make some of your points. I'm a fan of those teams, but you're supposed to have those players that you can maintain
So
that standard of
this is
football.
Nico, let me ask
this
you.
is the thing. This is the thing. Yeah.
Yeah.
Go
Nico,
ahead.
let me ask you this question.
Yes.
Let me ask you the question, then you can bring out whatever you want to say.
Yes.
But
Yes.
if you watch the game, you saw the chances created. They
Yes.
created chances. I saw some of the chances was like the players to. Can you really blame a coach for that? Because he brings you guys, gives you guys a platform. You create chances, but not able to score. Can you
Thank you.
blame a coach?
You cannot.
No,
It's
no.
Ajab. What Ajab is doing here is just talking about a situation where he feels like company should abandon his philosophy and
Mm-mm.
focus on getting some type of result
Not
first
abandon.
before
Sorry, not
trying
abandon. I
to.
mean games. Pick some of the games
Yes,
where,
pick games where you can
yeah,
do that.
and
Okay, but this
yeah,
was
I
a
was talking
perfect
about the
game.
entire season.
Okay, but
But
this was
yeah,
a perfect game for that type
yeah.
of football today. It was the perfect game because Bournemouth, what Bournemouth gives you is a defense that cannot hold, right? Because when they come out to play these lower position teams, you can tell Bournemouth comes out with a completely different plan, like from the way they will attack, say Chelsea or Arsenal or Liverpool or Man City, right? So this was a chance for Burnley to take 3 points, and they were at home. 20 chances. Think about it. 20 shots on 20 shots in a game. You get a zero goal out of it. What does that tell you? What does that tell you? They played well, 75% possession. Again, numbers don't lie. Yes, you can put context in it, but it was not just regular passes back to the keeper in this game. The players, they tried to play, but they could not deliver. Like the end product is not there, but the team is good. They have the goods. The system is good. It just needs the right pieces to fit into that system. Because I think if company had the money that say some of these coaches had, trust me, okay, look at company coach this Burnley team from the championship. This is how they played throughout, and they led the thing, and they were in the Premier League with like 10 or 8 games left to go, right? So just take company in this mindset and put him in a team like Manu right now with some of those young players and the older players and the mix, and have him bring this philosophy to Manu and see if it doesn't make a difference.
No, don't
So
give him
we cannot
Manu.
we cannot point we
Yeah.
cannot point
Sorry,
the finger at
Nico.
the coach in this one for
Yeah.
sure.
Sorry,
Okay.
Nico. I don't
Yeah,
want to
go
give
ahead.
company Man United with the pressure. Give him
Well,
a
yes,
team
please.
that like Crystal Palace that
Crystal
has some of
Palace.
the
There you go.
financial
Okay,
muscle, but they
Yeah,
don't
but
expect a lot from
there
yeah,
you
him.
but
go.
Yeah.
this is one of the things. This is one of the things that I'm not a coach, but I know about coaching. It's hard for coaches to change their philosophy,
Mhm.
Yes.
especially when they
Yeah.
are new, especially when they are new into the
Yeah.
coaching game, right? Because
Mhm.
the other things will come with time. I just believe that the reason. we still see company coaching this team, although they are second to the last at the table, is because management knows that they did not provide him maybe with the right tools.
The right
The right
tools.
tools.
Yeah,
Okay,
You know
very,
that. So,
that's
that's a
very
fair
obvious. That's
that's a
very
very
obvious.
fair
I think
point.
they
Yeah.
know for a fact that this year was just for them to test the waters in the Premier League. They'll go back, try to make that money again. Because each time they come up, of course, the TV rights money and all that, it helps them, right? So as they drop
yeah,
again, they start setting themselves up to rebuild and come back into the Premier League after next season
yeah.
more with a little more ammunition. So yeah,
So yeah,
that's what I think is gonna happen there. But just to close out, guys, I don't know if there's anything else since we're freestyling. I just wanted to point out um we cannot take Sheffield United for granted tomorrow. Arsenal needs to be very careful with their head in the game because we've seen Monday night football games not go the right way for the bigger quote unquote bigger teams. So it's just something I just that just popped into my mind and I just thought I'd say it because tomorrow if we come back and we're talking about Arsenal having tied the game, nobody should be surprised because Monday night football is tough. It is because it throws off your training regiments and all that. Because Saturday morning, if you're not playing, you're playing on Sunday, and then on Saturday morning, the players go out and get a kick about. Now, but if you're playing on Monday, you don't know what to do with with your Saturday
well,
because you have to
well,
adjust it.
well, well. This
And then
Arsenal
they
team
have
has
to
been
travel.
playing. This Arsenal team has been playing on Tuesdays and Wednesdays, and they
Yeah,
should know. They should know how to
they
prepare
should know
for
what to
such
do.
games.
Yeah.
You
Would
know, they
you
have an
see?
objective. One thing I can say about Arsenal, I can tell you that they are very focused. And for me, I think they're gonna win that game tomorrow. However, I just want to try to relate or try to talk to a little bit about. We have some guys that are very consistent here, JC, Ngwana, Bitakola, and all that. We are trying to build a channel, and I do appreciate you guys because we, the host, cannot be the only ones that make this channel Football Trio grow. So please comment on our YouTube channels, subscribe, share, so that others can grow this channel. We are looking forward to have a lockdown time, you know, where we can all lock down maybe 30 minutes of our time, 45 minutes, an hour, depending on how much content we do have, so that we can know that we have this schedule every weekend and we come and talk, football on our various platforms. So we thank you guys again, and we look forward, to grow this channel together, because that's what it's going to take to grow the channel together. Ajab, do you
Yes.
want to say something before?
Yeah. Let's not forget to let them know that we also have a Facebook page. The name is Football Trio.
Oh yes, yes,
Yeah.
exactly,
The Facebook
exactly.
page. Yeah.
So please just
Okay.
like, comment, because we want to be interactive. There's a point where we're gonna come in, maybe invite any of you guys who want to have a
Join us.
conversation,
Yeah.
and so that we can all talk together. Then we also promise that we shall come up with flyers to let you guys, to remind you guys ahead of time,
Mhm.
for the subjects when we're coming out, and some things like that. We plan next week. I'm not sure if my guys are ready for that, because I want to talk about because what we are doing is we're not only talking about EPL. We want to grow our football culture, the African football culture. There are a lot of things we learn over here that we can actually take also back home.
Back home.
Could be virtually, but yes, take back home. Rigobert Song was let go.
Yeah.
Uh, Samuel Eto'o gave an interview to Frank Zenkat, something that doesn't sit well with me, because if you're the president of a federation and you try to build football, football is not only the players, it's also the press. So if you're carrying news that local media and local journalists can create content with, make money and grow leagues, same media that brings content to the fans, but you carry news and take it to a French media, to a
French
foreign
media.
media, it doesn't sit well with me. So we want to talk about this maybe next week. If my panel actually agrees, we can make day for that, because Sundays for us is EPL and whatever European leagues. So if we can make time, maybe talk about that on a Saturday
Okay.
weekend, when everybody is, oh, Jean Guara, I did not even know that's my boy, man.
Yeah.
So yeah, so I mean, if we can make time, depending on you guys, if
Yeah.
you
That
guys, we
that
can make time and we have that conversation sometime on
it's
Sunday,
needed.
on
It's needed.
Saturday.
It's needed. We do have to talk about song and all the the movements and all the tactics that have been put in place, right? To kind of figure out how to treat his contract situation and or non-contract renewal, per se. They didn't really want to fire him outright. They just let the contract expire and came up with whatever stories they had to come up with. But it is what it is. We definitely do need to have that conversation. Um, a lot of further is going to be made of Eto'o and his media outings and going to a foreign media page company versus doing something local, which is a
Yes.
problem. We're going to have that conversation, and I'm open to us having that conversation. I actually want to invite the viewers, join us. Let's have this panel. Let's have like 6 people on so we can talk about these things,
So
because these things are important. Yes, go ahead,
so
Chilai.
so yeah. Quick question. Yeah, yeah. Do you guys believe we can do this Saturday?
Absolutely, why not?
What time?
I mean, we can all agree on the time.
We'll go
We
agreed on
can
the
all.
time and
Yeah,
put out
Saturday.
put
Yeah,
out
we
the
can do it on
information
Saturday. Yeah.
Okay, I'm just saying that
audience.
on
Okay.
live so that some of our panel should actually, I mean, some of the guys viewing should actually know that maybe we will have a show on Saturday. So
Mhm.
that will actually help viewership because there's a lot of things because football. A lot of people think football is only sports. No, football is a business. Okay,
Completely.
football is about leadership. It's about so there are many different sectors or of life many well, some of you guys are leaders in your at home at your jobs so there are many different things we can actually teach each other in order to help grow our football community but thanks once more guys thanks our viewers is there anything else we are missing before we shut down
Yeah, I
Not that
know
I
we
can
don't have
think of.
time, but Bitakola mentioned asked something. If we watched, if I don't know if it's Bitakola or
Yeah, it
who
is. It is
asked,
Vitacola.
it's Bitakola who asked about them
Yeah.
Valencia game.
Real Madrid.
If you watch the Real Madrid Valencia game yesterday, it's
oh
something
let me
crazy
talk
happened at the end.
yeah
Yeah,
let me talk about it yes
Let's
exactly
talk about it.
had it come
Yeah.
to mind okay yeah the in the first half Valencia had an action in Real Madrid's box the ref called for halftime
Mm.
Valencia was not happy okay so that must have been going in the ref's mind because towards the end he added 8 minutes additional time
And then
if
two more.
no it was four was it four
It was
minutes
8, and then
No, Liverpool was the eight.
yeah.
yeah.
Liverpool was the
Liverpool
eight.
was eight.
It
Yeah,
was
I think
four.
Real Madrid was four or something
Yeah,
like
it
that.
was 4 minutes. Then I think it went two more additional, two minutes on top. Then they had a corner kick. That corner kick was taken. There was a clearance, but the ball did not go far. Real Madrid was on the ball, and before the guy turned around, the ref blew.
The final
He
whistle.
had his whistle. He was in action, blowing the end of the game, and the ball was already in the air. Then what's his name? The Englishman,
Bellingham. Bellingham.
Bellingham
Bellingham
played
scored, but the whistle had already
on.
gone. So after the game, because I was watching on ESPN Plus, after the game, there was a whole conversation about where a lot of analysts said that that was not good refereeing,
Yeah.
but no one said they said that should have he should have let the play go on and that should have been a goal. But my point here is we all watch football every day we watch the refs stop even corner kicks. The corner kick where the ball went out corner kick, he doesn't even give the corner kick, he stops the game and all that. So for me, I don't have a problem so far as the ref was consistent about it. I don't know what you guys think about it.
At first, I thought he blew the whistle while Bellingham was in the
In
but
the
while
action.
Bellingham was going to head the ball. But I noticed when I watched again, he blew the whistle when Brahimi crossed the ball. So Bellingham was going for the ball when he had sounded the whistle. So
Exactly.
I kind of understand I kind of understand the referee's point, even though some people will look at it like it's bias on Real Madrid. But to
Yeah.
an extent, I think the ref, if I had to analyze this situation, the ref was not at fault.
Perfect. Yeah,
Yeah.
perfect call. Perfect call. The ref has discretion to stop the game. The time is exhausted. Whether the ball is in the air. Sometimes we leave as a ref, you leave laxity, let the ball come towards the center of the pitch so you can easily pick it up and go. But no, no. Wherever the ball is, the ref can stop the ball. Even if the ball is, with in the keeper's hands, the ref can stop the game at any time as long as the time is exhausted. So This was fine. I don't know. I think Real Madrid is more salty because they lost the game. They tied the game
They tied
versus.
again.
Yeah, so
But yeah,
it doesn't matter to me. As I do support Real Madrid sometimes, but I don't know what it is. Like we've seen the Spanish league do this dance before, and somehow Madrid has come out now. They're leading, and it's like they're about to give it away again. And who knows? Barcelona may just slide in there and start
Nah.
and
no,
take it over
I
all.
don't think. I don't think. And it's usually funny, right?
Yeah,
When like a team plays on Saturday, they draw, then you think the second Girona is gonna close down,
close
but
the gap.
Girona lost today.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Then you think Barcelona is gonna do something. Don't be surprised if Barcelona draws their game.
loses too. Yeah, because they're
So
playing against Atletico Bilbao.
Yeah.
exactly. But
Yeah,
anyway, let's close on this note, right? I just want to leave something for you guys to ponder about before we meet Saturday, depending on the
mhm.
time. Odegaard
Yes.
and Fernandez. Who do you guys think is a better player?
Odegaard, of
Let's
course.
go. Odegaard.
Odegaard, of
It's okay.
course.
Oh wow, that was easy.
We'll
Very
talk
easy.
about it. We'll talk about it. We'll go into maybe a little bit of details, but I think for now, if you ask me, I'm gonna go for Odegaard. Yeah.
Okay. Thanks, viewers. Thanks, everybody. It's been a beautiful day. It's been a beautiful weekend. Football. The EPL match is that match day 20th or what?
Yeah,
Is it
match day 20, 20, 20, 20.
match day what?
Match day 20. Match day
No,
20.
you're talking about EPL.
Oh, what are we talking about? Match day 27th.
You're talking about EPL.
Yes,
EPL.
It's 27. 27.
27th.
27? Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
So match day 27. Wow, match day
Wait.
27th actually ends tomorrow with Arsenal
Yeah.
against Sheffield. So we might be able to talk about the Arsenal Sheffield game only next
Yes. Okay.
weekend. But also, please, guys, as you all understand, go like and subscribe to our Facebook page because we also put in day to day. We write about football on those pages and all that. But thanks again for watching. It's been a wonderful session, football trio with Ajab, Nico, and your host today, True Lion. It's been a pleasure.
Thank you, guys. Thank
Thank
you.
you guys. Have a wonderful Sunday.